Maya looked up at the sky and felt her stomach drop. Dark clouds were moving fast, covering the sun like a big gray blanket. She stood on the sidewalk outside the community center, her small backpack on her shoulders and her art folder pressed against her chest. Just 5 minutes ago, everything had been fine. Now everything felt wrong. The day had started like any other Tuesday. Maya had gone to school, finished her classes, and then walked to the community center for her after-school art program. She loved art class. It was the best part of her week. For 2 hours, she could draw and paint whatever she wanted. Today, she had worked on a drawing of a race car. She was so proud of it. But then Mrs. Peterson, who ran the program, got a phone call. Maya saw her face change. Mrs. Peterson looked worried and scared. She hung up and told all the kids they had to leave early. Her sister was in the hospital. She needed to go right away. Mrs. Peterson called all the parents, but Maya's mom didn't answer. Her phone went straight to voicemail. "Sweetheart, isn't your mom working today?" Mrs. Peterson had asked, her hands shaking as she grabbed her car keys. Maya nodded. "She works until 7 today. Double shift." Mrs. Peterson bit her lip. She looked at Maya, then at the clock, then at her phone. Another call came through. She answered it quickly. "Yes, I'm coming now," she said into the phone. Her voice was tight and high. "Can you get home okay?" Mrs. Peterson asked Maya. "You take the number 12 bus, right?" "It should come in 10 minutes, Maya had nodded, even though she felt nervous. She was only 8 years old. She had taken the bus before, but always with her friend Jennifer. Jennifer's mom always made sure they got on safely. Today, Jennifer wasn't at art class. She was sick at home. Mrs. Peterson locked the community center door and rushed to her car. "You'll be fine, sweetie. Just wait for the bus right here. Stay safe." She drove away fast, her tires making a squealing sound, and now Maya was alone. She looked down the street. Usually there were lots of people walking around at this time. But today the street was almost empty. The wind started to blow harder. It pushed against Maya's thin jacket. She wished she had worn her thick coat, but this morning had been sunny and warm. Nobody expected a storm. Maya reached into her backpack for her phone. Her fingers found it in the front pocket. She pulled it out and pressed the power button. Nothing happened. The screen stayed black. She tried again. Still nothing. Her phone was dead. She had forgotten to charge it last night. A cold feeling spread through her chest. She couldn't call her mom. She couldn't call anyone. "It's okay," Maya whispered to herself. "The bus will come soon." She walked to the bus stop sign and sat down on the bench. Her art folder was getting a little wet from her sweaty hands. She relaxed her grip and placed it on her lap. Inside were all her drawings from the past month. The race car, a picture of her mom, a drawing of their small apartment, a superhero she had made up herself. Thunder rumbled in the distance. Maya jumped. She looked up again. The clouds were even darker now. They looked heavy and angry. The first raindrop hit her forehead. Then another hit her hand. Then another and another. Within seconds, rain was falling everywhere. It wasn't the gentle kind of rain that makes nice sounds on windows. This was hard, fast rain that felt like tiny cold fingers poking her skin. Maya stood up quickly and looked around for shelter. The community center door was locked. There was a small overhang above the entrance, but it wasn't very big. She ran to it and pressed herself against the door. The overhang kept some of the rain off her, but water was blowing sideways in the wind. Her shoes were getting soaked. Her jacket was already wet. She hugged her art folder tighter, trying to keep it dry. The cardboard was starting to feel soft and damp. All her drawings were inside. She couldn't let them get ruined. More thunder boomed overhead, louder this time. Lightning flashed across the sky. Maya's heart beat faster. She was scared of thunderstorms. At home, when it stormed, she would curl up on the couch with her mom. They would watch movies together with the sound turned up loud so Maya couldn't hear the thunder. Her mom would wrap a blanket around her and tell her everything was okay. But her mom wasn't here now. Maya felt tears starting in her eyes. She blinked hard, trying to make them stop. She was a big girl. Big girls didn't cry. That's what the kids at school said. But the tears came anyway, mixing with the rain on her face. A woman ran past, holding a newspaper over her head. She didn't look at Maya. A man in a suit rushed by, talking on his phone. He didn't look either. A couple hurried past, sharing an umbrella. They were laughing about something. They didn't see the small girl pressed against the locked door. Maya looked down the street for the bus. She could see the road stretching far away, but there was no bus coming. She didn't know what time it was. Had the bus already passed? Would another one come? How long should she wait? The rain fell harder. It was like standing under a waterfall. Maya's hair was completely wet now, stuck to her face and neck. Water dripped down her back. Her socks felt squishy inside her shoes. She was shivering. Her teeth started to chatter. She thought about walking home. She knew the way. It would take about 30 minutes. But her mom had told her many times never to walk home alone. Always take the bus, her mom had said. Always stay where there are lots of people. Never go alone. But there were no people here now. Everyone had gone inside to escape the rain. Maya's chin trembled. She felt very small and very alone. The city suddenly seemed too big and too loud and too scary. The thunder cracked again, and this time Maya couldn't help it. A small sob escaped from her throat. Then another. She was crying now. Really crying, her shoulders shaking. She wanted her mom. She wanted to be home. She wanted to be dry and warm and safe. But she was stuck here in the rain with no phone, no money for a cab, and no idea what to do. The storm was getting worse. The wind howled between the buildings. The rain came down in sheets, so thick that Maya could barely see across the street. She closed her eyes and held her art folder close to her chest like a shield. Maybe if she waited long enough, someone would come. Maybe her mom would somehow know she needed help. Maybe Mrs. Peterson would come back. But deep down, Maya knew nobody was coming. Nobody knew she was here. Nobody knew she needed help. She was on her own, and the storm showed no signs of stopping. Maya didn't know how long she had been standing there. It felt like hours, but it was probably only 10 or 15 minutes. The rain showed no signs of stopping. If anything, it was getting worse. The water on the sidewalk was rising, forming small rivers that rushed toward the storm drains. She was so cold now that she couldn't feel her fingers. Her art folder was soaked through. She could feel the cardboard getting softer and softer in her hands. All her drawings were probably ruined. That thought made her cry harder. Through her tears and the rain, Maya saw car headlights. A big black SUV was driving slowly down the street. Most cars had been speeding past, trying to get home quickly. But this one was moving carefully, like the driver was looking for something. The SUV got closer. Maya watched it through the curtain of rain. She couldn't see inside because the windows were dark. The vehicle slowed down even more as it came near the community center. Then it stopped right at the curb, just a few feet from where Maya stood. Maya's heart started beating fast, but not in a good way. Her mom had taught her about stranger danger. Never talk to strangers. Never go near strange cars. Never accept rides from people you don't know. Maya took a small step backward, pressing herself harder against the locked door. The SUV sat there with its engine running. Maya could see the windshield wipers going back and forth, back and forth. She held her breath. Then the passenger side window rolled down slowly. Maya's body tensed up, ready to run if she needed to. A man's face appeared in the window. He had a kind face with warm brown eyes. He was wearing a dark shirt and had a concerned expression. "Hey," the man called out. His voice was deep and gentle. "Are you okay out there?" Maya didn't answer. She had been taught not to talk to strangers. She stood very still, like a rabbit who sees a fox. The man seemed to understand. He didn't smile or try to act too friendly. He just looked worried. "That's a pretty bad storm," he said, raising his voice a bit so she could hear him over the rain and thunder. "You're getting really wet. Where are your parents?" Maya's lips trembled. She wanted to answer. She wanted help. But the words stuck in her throat. The man leaned a little closer to the window, and that's when Maya saw his face more clearly. Her eyes went wide. She knew that face. She had seen it in movies. The strong jaw, the deep-set eyes, the bald head. It was Vin Diesel, the actor from all those action movies her mom liked to watch. Maya had watched some of those movies too, the ones that were okay for kids. She remembered seeing him in that movie about racing cars. He played a character who was tough but also really cared about family. Her mom said he seemed like a nice person in real life too. "I'm not asking you to get in the car," Vin said quickly, holding up both hands to show he meant no harm. "I can see you're scared, and that's good. That's smart. Your parents taught you well." Maya nodded slightly. Her teeth were chattering so hard she could hear them clicking together. "But I am worried about you," Vin continued. His face was serious now. "You're soaking wet, and this storm is getting dangerous. Do you have a phone? Can you call someone?" "It's dead," Maya managed to say. Her voice came out small and shaky. "My phone is dead." Vin nodded slowly. "Okay. What about your parents? Where are they?" "My mom is at work," Maya said. Now that she had started talking, the words came easier. "She works until 7, double shift. I was supposed to take the bus home, but I think I missed it. And I can't call her because my phone died." "Where's the bus stop?" Maya pointed to the sign a few feet away. Vin looked at the bus schedule posted on the sign, squinting through the rain. "The next bus doesn't come for 45 minutes, he said. He looked back at Maya. "You can't stand in this rain for 45 minutes, you'll get sick." "I don't know what to do," Maya whispered. Fresh tears rolled down her cheeks. "I just want to go home." Vin's expression softened. He reached over to the passenger seat and picked up his phone. "Listen, I have an idea. I'm going to call someone who can help us figure this out safely. Is that okay?" Maya wasn't sure what he meant, but she nodded. Vin dialed a number and put the phone to his ear. "Hey Sarah, it's me. I need you to do something right away." He paused, listening. "I'm on 4th Street near the community center. There's a little girl here who's stranded in the storm. Her phone's dead and she can't reach her mom. I need you to call the local police and have them send an officer here. Not an emergency, but we need help." Another pause. "Yes, I'm staying with her until they arrive. She's safe, but she's freezing and scared." He hung up and looked back at Maya. "Help is coming, okay? A police officer will be here soon. They'll help us contact your mom and make sure you get home safely." "You called the police?" Maya asked. She wasn't in trouble, was she? "Just to help," Vin assured her. "They're good at finding parents when kids need help. And it's important that we do this the right way so your mom knows you're safe and knows that I'm not some creep trying to kidnap you or anything." Maya relaxed a tiny bit. That made sense. Her mom always said if she was ever lost or in trouble, she should find a police officer. "Are you really Vin Diesel?" Maya asked suddenly. A small smile appeared on his face. "Yeah, I am. You've seen my movies?" "My mom loves your movies. We watch them together sometimes." "What's your name?" "Maya." "That's a beautiful name, Maya. I have a daughter around your age, you know. Her name is Pauline. If she was stuck in the rain like this, I'd want someone to help her too." That made Maya feel better. He was a dad. Dads were usually nice. They sat there for a few minutes, not talking much. Vin kept his SUV running with the heater on. Even though Maya was still outside getting wet, she could feel a little bit of warm air coming from the car window. It helped, just a little. "Do you like art?" Vin asked, noticing her folder. "Is that schoolwork?" "It's my drawings," Maya said, looking down at the soaked folder. "They're probably all ruined now." "I'm sorry about that. What kind of stuff do you draw?" "Cars mostly, and superheroes and my family." "Cars, huh? You'd probably be good at drawing some of the cars from my movies then." Maya nodded. "I drew one once. The orange one with the black stripes." "The Supra?" Vin's face lit up. "That's a classic. You have good taste." For the first time since the rain started, Maya felt herself smile just a little. Thunder boomed overhead again, and Maya flinched. Vin noticed. "Scared of thunder?" he asked gently. "Yeah. It's really loud." "I get it. When my daughters were younger, they didn't like thunder either. Want to know a secret?" Maya nodded. "Thunder can't hurt you. It's just noise. It's the sound the lightning makes when it heats up the air. The lightning is already done by the time you hear the thunder, so if you can hear it, you're already safe from it." Maya thought about that. It actually made sense. She felt a little less scared. A few minutes later, red and blue lights appeared down the street. A police car pulled up behind Vin's SUV. An officer got out wearing a rain jacket with a hood. He walked up to the driver's side of the SUV first. Vin rolled down his window. "Officer, thank you for coming." "Mr. Diesel?" The officer looked surprised. Dispatch said we had a child welfare situation, but they didn't mention you were involved. That's me, Vin said. This young lady is stranded here. Her phone's dead, and she can't reach her mother who's at work. I didn't want to just drive past, but I also didn't want to put her in my car without proper supervision. That's why I called you. The officer nodded approvingly. You did the right thing. He walked over to Maya, crouching down to her level so he wouldn't seem so tall and scary. His name tag said, Officer Martinez. Hi there, Officer Martinez said with a warm smile. What's your name? Maya, she said quietly. Maya, can you tell me what happened? Maya explained everything. The art class ending early, missing the bus, her dead phone, her mom at work. Officer Martinez listened carefully, asking questions here and there. Do you know where your mom works? He asked. Maya nodded and told him the name of the restaurant. It was a big chain restaurant across town where her mom worked as a server. Perfect, Officer Martinez said. We'll get in touch with her right away. But Maya, you can't stand out here in this rain any longer. You're shivering like crazy. Mr. Diesel has offered to drive us to the station where you can warm up while we contact your mom. Is that okay with you? I'll be with you the whole time. Maya looked at Vin, then at the officer, then back at Vin. She nodded slowly. Okay then, Officer Martinez said. Let's get you out of this storm. Officer Martinez opened the back door of Vin's SUV and helped Maya climb inside. The interior was warm and dry, such a change from the cold rain that Maya felt like she had stepped into a different world. Her wet clothes immediately started making the leather seat damp, but nobody seemed to care about that. Sorry about your seats, Maya said quietly. Vin turned around from the driver's seat and smiled. Don't even worry about it. That's what seats are for. Let me see if I have something to help you warm up. He reached behind his seat and pulled out a black gym bag. Inside, he found a gray hoodie. It was huge, probably 3 times Maya's size, but it was soft and dry. Here, he said, handing it to her. Put this on over your wet jacket. It'll help. Maya took off her soaking jacket and pulled the hoodie over her head. It hung down past her knees like a dress, and the sleeves were so long she couldn't see her hands. But it was warm and smelled clean like laundry detergent. She felt immediately better. Officer Martinez got into the passenger seat and Vin started driving. The windshield wipers worked hard to clear the rain away. The storm was so bad that Vin had to drive very slowly. Cars were pulling over on the side of the road. Some streets had water pooling in the middle. This storm came out of nowhere, Officer Martinez said, looking out the window. Weather report this morning said sunny all day. Nature doesn't care about weather reports, Vin replied, carefully steering around a large puddle. In the back seat, Maya hugged herself inside the big hoodie. She was still scared, but not as much as before. Officer Martinez kept his radio on low, and she could hear voices crackling through it. He picked up the radio handset. Dispatch, this is Martinez. I need you to contact the Golden Palace restaurant on West Avenue. We need to speak with an employee named Carmen Rodriguez. It's regarding her daughter. Not an emergency, but urgent. He looked back at Maya. Your mom's name is Carmen, right? Yes, Maya said. Carmen Maria Rodriguez. Officer Martinez relayed that information. The dispatcher said she would call the restaurant right away. They drove for about 10 minutes before pulling into the parking lot of the police station. It was a big brick building with an American flag flying out front. The flag was whipping around wildly in the wind. Officer Martinez had Vin park in a visitor spot near the door so they wouldn't have to walk far in the rain. Okay, let's make a run for it, Officer Martinez said. They all got out quickly. Vin put his hand over Maya's head to shield her from the rain as they hurried to the entrance. Officer Martinez held the door open and they rushed inside. The police station was bright and warm. Maya's shoes squeaked on the shiny floor. A woman at the front desk looked up and did a double take when she saw Vin Diesel walking in. Evening, Maria, Officer Martinez said to the woman. We need to use the family room. Child welfare situation, nothing serious. Just waiting for a parent to arrive. The woman, Maria, nodded and pointed down a hallway. Second door on the right. Do you need anything? Water, blankets? Some towels would be great, Officer Martinez said. And maybe some hot chocolate if we have any. I'll bring them right over, Maria said. She was still staring at Vin with wide eyes. They walked down the hallway to the family room. It was a small, comfortable space with soft chairs, a couch, and a table with some children's books and puzzles. The walls were painted a cheerful yellow color. There were pictures of cartoon animals hung up. It was clearly a room designed to make kids feel safe and calm. "Have a seat, Maya," Officer Martinez said, gesturing to the couch. Maya sat down, and Vin sat in a chair nearby. Officer Martinez remained standing, speaking into his radio again to check on the status of reaching Maya's mother. Maria came in a minute later with an armful of towels and a steaming cup of hot chocolate. She set them down on the table and smiled at Maya. "Here you go, sweetie. That should warm you right up." "Thank you," Maya said quietly. After Maria left, closing the door behind her, Officer Martinez's radio crackled to life. "Martinez, we have Carmen Rodriguez on the line. Patching her through now." The officer held up the radio. "Ms. Rodriguez, this is Officer Martinez with the city police. I'm here with your daughter Maya. She's perfectly fine, but there was a situation with her after-school program." A woman's panicked voice burst through the radio. "Maya, what happened? Is she hurt? Where is she?" "Mom." Maya jumped up from the couch. "Baby? Maya, is that you?" Officer Martinez held the radio closer to Maya. "I'm okay, Mom," Maya said, her voice shaking. "I'm at the police station. I got stuck in the rain and couldn't call you." "The police station? Oh my God, baby, what happened?" Officer Martinez took back the radio and explained everything calmly. He told Carmen about Mrs. Peterson having to leave early, about Maya's dead phone, about being stranded in the storm. He explained how Vin Diesel had found her and called for help, and how they had brought Maya to the station to keep her safe and warm while they contacted her. There was silence on the other end. Then Carmen's voice came back, thick with emotion. "Someone helped my baby?" "Yes, ma'am. Mr. Diesel made sure everything was done properly and safely. He's here with us now. Can I talk to him?" Carmen asked. "Please, I need to thank him." Officer Martinez handed the radio to Vin. He pressed the button and spoke clearly. "Ms. Rodriguez, this is Vin Diesel. Your daughter is safe. She's right here with me and Officer Martinez." Carmen's voice cracked. "Thank you. Thank you so much. I don't know how to thank you. When I think about what could have happened if you hadn't stopped." She couldn't finish the sentence. "Any decent person would have done the same thing," Vin said. "You've got a very brave and smart daughter. She knew not to get in a stranger's car, even in a storm. You taught her well." "I'm leaving work right now," Carmen said. "I'll be there as soon as I can. Traffic is really bad because of the storm, but I'm coming." "Drive carefully," Officer Martinez said, taking back the radio. "We'll take good care of her until you get here." After the call ended, Officer Martinez checked his watch. "Your mom said it might take her about 45 minutes to get here. Traffic is backed up all over the city because of this storm." Vin looked at his own watch and frowned. He pulled out his phone and made a call. "Hey Mark, yeah, I know I'm late. Listen, something came up. I'm at the police station helping with the situation." He listened for a moment. "No, nothing bad. I'll explain later. Can you push the meeting back an hour? Maybe hour and a half?" Another pause. "Thanks, man. I appreciate it." He hung up and looked at Maya. "Well, looks like we've got some time to kill. What should we do?" Maya shrugged. She was feeling warmer now, wrapped in the big hoodie and holding the cup of hot chocolate, but she still felt shaky and emotional. "You said you like to draw," Vin said. "Is your art folder completely ruined, or can we see what survived?" Maya had set the wet folder on the table. She carefully opened it. The cardboard was soggy and falling apart. Some of the papers inside were stuck together. But when she gently peeled them apart, she found that a few drawings were still okay. The race car drawing had smeared a little, but you could still see what it was. Some of her other drawings were readable too. "These are really good," Vin said, looking through them carefully. He pulled out a drawing of a family. It showed a woman and a little girl holding hands. "Is this you and your mom?" Maya nodded. "I drew that last week. You can see how much you love each other just from the picture. That's real talent, Maya. Not everyone can show feelings in their drawings like this." Officer Martinez came over to look too. "Wow, you're really good. Have you ever thought about being an artist when you grow up?" "Maybe," Maya said. "Or maybe someone who makes movies. I like drawing, but I also like stories." "Movies need both those things," Vin said. "Someone has to draw the storyboards before they even start filming. Those are like comic book versions of the movie scenes. It helps the director plan out each shot." "Really?" Maya's eyes lit up. "People get paid to do that?" "Absolutely. It's an important job. I've worked with amazing storyboard artists on all my films." For the next 30 minutes, Vin told Maya about how movies were made. He explained about directors and camera operators and special effects. He talked about how many people worked together to create one film. Maya listened with complete attention, asking questions here and there. Officer Martinez sat quietly, occasionally checking his radio but mostly just watching. He was amazed at how Vin was treating this little girl with so much respect and kindness. Not like a celebrity talking to a fan, but like a real person talking to another real person. You know what else is important in movies? Vin said, family. A lot of my movies are about family, about people who care about each other and protect each other. That's the most important story anyone can tell. Like my mom, Maya said. She works really hard so we can have a nice place to live and food to eat. Sometimes she works 2 jobs. That's exactly what I mean, Vin said. Your mom is a real-life superhero. She doesn't need special powers or fancy cars. She just shows up every day and does what needs to be done. That's true strength, Maya smiled. She had never thought of her mom as a superhero before, but Vin was right. Her mom was pretty amazing. Officer Martinez's radio crackled again. Martinez, Ms. Rodriguez is pulling into the parking lot now. Maya jumped off the couch. She's here! Carmen burst through the doors of the police station like a storm herself. Her hair was wild and wet. Her server uniform was soaked through. She had mascara running down her face from crying. Her eyes searched frantically until they landed on Maya. Maya! Carmen's voice broke as she ran forward and dropped to her knees. She wrapped her arms around her daughter and pulled her close. Oh my baby, are you okay? Are you hurt? I'm okay, Mom, Maya said, hugging her mother back just as tightly. I was just scared. I couldn't call you. Carmen pulled back and looked at her daughter's face, touching her cheeks, her hair, checking her over like she was making sure every part was still there. Fresh tears rolled down her face. When the police called the restaurant, my heart stopped. I thought something terrible had happened. I left my shift right away. I didn't even clock out. Your manager understood, Officer Martinez said gently. We spoke with him. He said to take all the time you need. Carmen looked up at the officer and then at Vin, who was standing a few steps back, giving them space for their reunion. When her eyes met Vin's, her face crumpled again. You saved my daughter, she whispered. You kept her safe. She stood up slowly and walked toward Vin. For a moment, she just looked at him, her mouth opening and closing like she couldn't find the right words. Then she reached out and took both his hands in hers. Thank you, Carmen said, her voice thick with emotion. Thank you so much. I work all day, every day, trying to keep my daughter safe and fed and happy. I can't afford a car, so she takes the bus. I can't afford a babysitter, so she goes to the free after-school program. I do everything I can, but I'm just one person. Today I couldn't be there when she needed me. But you were. A complete stranger was there for my child when I couldn't be. Ms. Rodriguez, Vin said gently, squeezing her hands. Carmen. Any decent person would have done the same thing. I saw a child in trouble and I helped. That's all? No, Carmen shook her head firmly. That's not all. Do you know how many people probably walked past her? How many people saw a little girl standing in the rain and did nothing? You stopped. You didn't just honk your horn or wave. You stopped and you stayed with her. You made sure she was safe. You called for help the right way. You even waited with her here when you probably have 1,000 other important things to do. She was right about that. Vin did have other things to do. He had a meeting with his director that he was now very late for. He had scenes to review.
He had calls to make.
But looking at this mother and daughter, seeing how much they meant to each other, he knew there was nowhere else he needed to be right now. I have a daughter too, Vin said. Actually, I have 3 daughters. If any of them were ever in trouble, I'd hope someone would help them. That's how the world should work. We take care of each other's kids. Carmen nodded, wiping her eyes. She looked down at Maya, who was still wearing Vin's enormous hoodie. Is that yours? She asked Vin. She can keep it, Vin said. It looks better on her anyway. Officer Martinez cleared his throat gently. Ms. Rodriguez, I do need to fill out an incident report. Just standard procedure. Would you mind answering a few questions? Of course, Carmen said. They moved to a small office where Officer Martinez could type up his report. Vin and Maya went back to the family room to wait. Once they were alone, Maya looked up at Vin with serious eyes. Can I ask you something? She said. Sure, anything. Why did you really stop? I mean, you're a big movie star. You probably have a lot of important things to do. You could have just kept driving like everyone else. Vin sat down in the chair across from her and thought about his answer. He didn't want to give her some easy fake response. She deserved the truth. "You know what I was thinking about when I drove past you?" he said. "I was thinking about a scene in my next movie. I was going over the lines in my head. I almost didn't even see you, but then something made me look. I saw you standing there soaking wet, hugging that folder like it was the most precious thing in the world. And I thought about my daughters. I thought about how scared you must be, and I knew I couldn't just drive away and pretend I didn't see you. But you don't even know me," Maya said. "That doesn't matter. You don't have to know someone to care about them. That's what being human means. We're all connected. Your mom works hard to take care of you, right?" Maya nodded. "And she probably takes care of lots of customers at her restaurant, too. She's nice to them. She makes sure they have what they need. She doesn't know them, but she cares about giving them a good experience. That's the same thing. We're all just trying to take care of each other." Maya thought about that. "I guess that makes sense. Can I ask you something now?" Vin said. "Okay. What were you thinking about while you were standing in the rain?" "Before I stopped?" Maya looked down at her hands. "I was thinking that I made a mistake. That I should have told Mrs. Peterson I couldn't wait by myself. That I should have tried harder to remember to charge my phone. I was thinking that my mom was going to be so worried and maybe mad at me." "Your mom's not mad at you," Vin said. "She was just scared because she loves you. But Maya, listen to me. None of this was your fault. You're 8 years old. You shouldn't have to figure out how to get home in a storm by yourself. That's not fair. The adults in your life should have made a better plan. But Mrs. Peterson had an emergency. I know, and that's not her fault either. Sometimes life throws problems at us that we can't predict. What matters is how we handle them. You did good today. You stayed safe. You didn't get in a stranger's car even when you were scared. You were smart." Maya felt a weight lift off her chest. She had been feeling guilty, like she had done something wrong. But Vin was right. She had actually made good choices. "You said you wanted to see my drawings again?" Maya asked, wanting to change the subject. "Absolutely." Maya carefully went through her damaged art folder and pulled out the drawings that were still in decent shape. She showed Vin each one, explaining what she was thinking when she drew it. The race car was supposed to be the fastest car in the world. The superhero was a character she made up who could fly and also talk to animals. The picture of her and her mom was from a day they went to the park. Vin looked at each drawing with real attention. He asked questions about her technique and her ideas. He told her about the concept artist who worked on his films and how important visual storytelling was. "Can I tell you something?" Vin said after looking at all the drawings. "I think you have real talent. I'm not just saying that to be nice. I work with creative people every single day. I can recognize it when I see it. You have an eye for detail and composition. Those are skills that can take you far if you keep developing them." "Really?" Maya's face lit up. "Really? Do you just take that one art class at the community center? Or do you draw at home too?" "I draw all the time at home. My mom bought me a big sketchbook for my birthday. I'm almost done filling it up." "Good, keep doing that. Practice every day. Watch how light hits objects. Study how things move. Pay attention to the world around you. All of that will make you a better artist." Maya felt like she was glowing inside. Nobody had ever talked to her like this before. Nobody had ever told her that her drawings were more than just cute kid stuff. Vin was talking to her like she was a real artist. "I want to show you something," Vin said, pulling out his phone. He tapped on it a few times and then turned it around so Maya could see the screen. It showed a fancy-looking website. "This is my production company's website. We have something called a mentorship program." "What's that?" "It's a program where young people who are interested in film and art can learn from professionals. They don't just watch videos online. They actually get to talk to real artists and writers and directors. They learn real skills." "That sounds amazing," Maya said wistfully. "But it probably costs a lot of money, right?" "Actually, it's free. My company started it to help kids who have talent, but maybe don't have a lot of money for expensive art schools. The program is for kids aged 12 and up, so you're not old enough yet. But in a few years you could apply." Vin reached into his wallet and pulled out a business card. He took a pen from the table and wrote something on the back. Then he handed it to Maya. "This has the website for the mentorship program on it," he said, "and on the back I wrote my production company's general email address. When you turn 12, if you're still interested in art and film, have your mom send an email to that address. Put Maya from the Rain in the subject line. My assistant will know to send it to me. I'll make sure you get a spot in the program. Maya took the card with both hands like it was made of gold. You really mean it? I really mean it. I don't say things I don't mean. You've got talent, Maya. Don't let anyone tell you different.
Keep drawing.
Keep creating. Keep telling stories. The world needs more artists who come from real life, who understand what it's like to struggle and overcome challenges. Those are the people who make the best art. Maya looked at the card for a long time. Then she looked up at Vin with tears in her eyes, but they were happy tears this time. Thank you. This is the best thing anyone has ever given me. That's just a card, Vin said softly. The real gift is already inside you. That's your talent and your determination. I'm just showing you one path you might take. They sat in comfortable silence for a moment. Outside, the rain had slowed to a gentle patter against the windows. The storm was finally ending. Officer Martinez came back to the family room about 20 minutes later with Carmen following behind him. Carmen looked calmer now, though her eyes were still red from crying. Maya jumped up from the couch and ran to her mother again. Carmen caught her and held her tight. The paperwork is all done, Officer Martinez said. You're both free to go whenever you're ready. Ms. Rodriguez, I gave you my card. If you need anything else, please don't hesitate to call. Thank you, officer, Carmen said. Thank you for everything you did today. Officer Martinez smiled and nodded. Then he looked at Vin and extended his hand. Mr. Diesel, it was an honor to work with you today. You did a really good thing. Vin shook his hand firmly, just trying to be a decent human being. Thank you for responding so quickly and handling everything professionally. After Officer Martinez left, it was just the three of them in the family room. Carmen turned to face Vin fully. She seemed like she wanted to say something but didn't know where to start. I don't know what to say, Carmen finally managed. Thank you feels too small for what you did. You don't have to say anything, Vin replied. Seeing Maya safe with her mom is all the thanks I need. No, Carmen shook her head. You need to understand something. I'm a single mother. Maya's father left when she was 2 years old. We haven't heard from him since. It's just been me and her for 6 years now. I work 2 jobs just to keep a roof over our heads. I work breakfast and lunch shift at the restaurant. Then I clean offices at night 3 days a week. I'm always tired. I'm always worried about money. I'm always afraid that I'm not doing enough for my daughter. Maya looked up at her mother with surprise. She didn't know her mom felt this way. The one thing I'm most afraid of, Carmen continued, her voice breaking, is that something will happen to her when I'm not there, that she'll need me and I won't be able to help because I'm at work, because I'm trying to earn money to take care of her. Today, my worst fear almost came true. My baby needed me and I was too far away. Tears rolled down Carmen's face. Vin stepped forward and put a gentle hand on her shoulder. But nothing bad happened, he said softly. Maya is okay. She's smart and brave because you raised her that way. You taught her not to talk to strangers. You taught her to stay safe. Those lessons probably saved her life today. And you saved her too, Carmen said. You were the answer to a prayer I didn't even have time to say. When I got that call at work, I prayed so hard while I was driving here. I prayed that my daughter was safe. And she was safe because you cared enough to stop. Your daughter told me about how hard you work, Vin said. She told me about how you're always there for her even when you're tired. You're the real hero in this story, Carmen. Not me, I just did one thing on one day. You do everything, every single day. Don't ever forget that. Carmen couldn't hold back anymore. She started crying in earnest, her shoulders shaking. Maya hugged her mother's waist and Carmen wrapped one arm around her daughter while wiping her eyes with her other hand. I'm sorry, Carmen said, trying to compose herself. I'm sorry. You probably need to go. You've already spent so much time with us. I have nowhere I need to be more than right here, Vin said, and he meant it. They stood there for a moment, and then Carmen seemed to gather her strength. She straightened up and wiped her face with her sleeve. Maya showed me the business card you gave her, Carmen said. The mentorship program. Are you serious about that? You really meant it? Absolutely, Vin said. Your daughter has real talent. I wouldn't have given her that card if I didn't mean it. We can't afford art school, Carmen said quietly. I've been trying to save money for college, but it's hard. I want to give her opportunities, but this program is completely free, Vin assured her. That's the whole point. We want to help kids who have talent but might not have financial resources. When Maya turns 12, just send that email. I promise you I'll make sure she gets accepted. Carmen looked at him with such gratitude that it made Vin's heart hurt a little. He realized how much this meant to her. It wasn't just about art classes. It was about hope. It was about her daughter having possibilities and a future beyond just surviving day to day. You know what the hardest part of being a single parent is? Carmen asked. It's not the money, even though that's hard. It's feeling like you're all alone. Like you're the only one who cares about your child. Like if you fail, there's no backup plan. Today you showed me that's not true. You showed me that there are good people in the world who care about kids even when they're strangers. You're not alone, Vin said firmly. There are more good people than bad people in this world. Sometimes we forget that because the news only shows us the bad stuff. But most people, if they saw a child in trouble, would want to help. I'm not special. I'm just someone who happened to be in the right place at the right time. You are special, Maya spoke up suddenly. Both adults looked down at her. You didn't have to stop. You didn't have to call the police. You didn't have to wait with me. You didn't have to give me your hoodie or talk to me about my drawings or give me that card. You did all those things because you're a good person. That makes you special. Vin felt his throat tighten with emotion. He knelt down so he was at Maya's eye level. You're pretty special too, kid, he said. You stayed strong when things were scary. You were smart when you needed to be. You trusted the right people. And you've got dreams bigger than this rainy day. Don't ever lose that. He stood up and looked at both of them. I need to tell you something. Can we sit down for a minute? They all sat down. Carmen and Maya on the couch, Vin in the chair across from them. I want you to know why I really stopped today, Vin said. I mean the deep reason. When I was young, younger than Maya, my life was really hard. My parents divorced. My father went to prison. My mother had to raise me and my siblings alone. We were poor. Really poor. Sometimes we didn't have enough food. Sometimes we moved around because we couldn't pay rent. Maya's eyes went wide. You were poor? But you're famous now. I am now, Vin said. But that's not how I started. I spent years struggling. I worked as a bouncer at nightclubs. I sold my own independent movie out of the trunk of my car. I was rejected from hundreds of auditions because casting directors said I didn't look right for any role. They didn't know what to do with me because I'm multiracial. I was too dark for some roles, not dark enough for others. Carmen leaned forward, listening intently. But I kept going, Vin continued. I kept believing in myself even when nobody else did. And slowly things started to change. I got a small part in a movie. Then a bigger part. Then someone took a chance on me as a lead. That someone was a director who believed in me when he didn't have to. He gave me an opportunity that changed my whole life. Like what you're doing for Maya, Carmen said softly. Exactly, Vin said. Someone helped me when I needed it most. Now I'm in a position to help others. That's how it's supposed to work. We lift each other up. We give people chances. We believe in them even when they don't fully believe in themselves yet. He looked directly at Maya. 4 years from now, when you're 12, I want you to apply to that program. But even more than that, I want you to keep drawing every single day between now and then. I want you to remember this day not as the scary day you got caught in the rain, but as the day someone told you that you have real talent and a real future. I will, Maya said seriously. I promise. And you, Vin turned to Carmen. I want you to remember that you're doing an amazing job. Your daughter is polite and smart and creative and brave. That doesn't happen by accident. That happens because she has a mother who loves her and teaches her right from wrong. You should be proud. Carmen's eyes filled with tears again, but she was smiling through them. Thank you. You have no idea how much I needed to hear that. Vin reached into his pocket and pulled out his wallet again. He took out several $100 bills. No, Carmen said immediately, seeing what he was doing. No, we can't accept money from you. You've done so much already. This isn't charity, Vin said gently. This is me making sure Maya can replace her art supplies that got ruined in the rain. This is me making sure you don't lose money from leaving work early today. Consider it a small investment in a future artist. I can't, Carmen protested. But Vin was already pressing the money into her hand and closing her fingers around it. Yes, you can, he said firmly but kindly. Let me do this. Let me help. One day when Maya is successful and helping other people, this will all come full circle. That's how we change the world. One kind act at a time. Carmen looked at the money in her hand, then at her daughter, then back at Vin. Finally, she nodded, too overwhelmed to speak. They all stood up. It was time to go. The rain had stopped completely now. Through the window, Maya could see the sun trying to peek through the clouds. "Can I hug you?" Maya asked Vin suddenly. "Of course," Vin said, opening his arms. Maya ran to him and wrapped her arms around his waist. He bent down and hugged her back. This little girl who had been so scared just a few hours ago and was now smiling. "Thank you for stopping," Maya whispered. "Thank you for being brave," Vin whispered back. When they pulled apart, Carmen shook Vin's hand one more time. "I'll never forget this, never. You changed our lives today." "You changed mine too," Vin said. "You reminded me why I do what I do, why I work hard and try to be successful. It's so I can help people when they need it. So thank you for that reminder." They walked out of the police station together. Carmen's car was parked near Vin's SUV. Officer Martinez was standing near the entrance, making sure they got to their vehicle safely. "Take care of each other," Vin called out as Carmen unlocked her car. "We will," Carmen called back, "and we'll see you in 4 years." Vin smiled and waved as they drove away. He stood there for a moment watching the small blue car disappear down the street. Then he got into his SUV and sat there, his hands on the steering wheel, thinking about the day. His phone buzzed. Multiple missed calls from his director, his assistant, his agent, but he didn't feel bad about missing that meeting. Some things were more important than work. Some moments were worth being late for. He started his engine and drove away from the police station, feeling lighter than he had in months. Sometimes he realized the best thing you can do with fame and success is use it to make one child feel seen and valued. Everything else was just noise. Officer Martinez couldn't stop thinking about what he had witnessed that afternoon. He had been a police officer for 12 years and had seen a lot of things, both good and bad. But watching Vin Diesel spend over an hour waiting with a scared little girl, treating her with such respect and kindness, had touched something deep inside him. That evening, after his shift ended, Martinez went home to his wife Rosa and told her the whole story. Rosa worked as a teacher and understood how rare it was for a celebrity to act so genuinely caring. "Did you record any of it?" Rosa asked. "Not to put online or anything. Just to remember?" "Actually," Martinez said slowly, "I did take a short video. Just the part where he was talking to Maya about her artwork and giving her his business card. I was standing in the doorway. They didn't even know I was there. Can I see it?" Martinez pulled out his phone and showed her the clip. It was only about 90 seconds long, but it captured everything important. Vin looking at Maya's rain-damaged drawings with genuine interest. Him telling her she had real talent. Him writing on the business card and explaining about the mentorship program, and Maya's face transforming from sadness to hope right before their eyes. "This is beautiful," Rosa said, wiping her eyes. "This is what people need to see. Not another story about celebrity drama or scandals. A story about simple human kindness." "I don't know," Martinez said. "I'd need permission from the family. And from Mr. Diesel. I don't want to invade their privacy." Over the next few days, Martinez couldn't let it go. He kept thinking about Maya and Carmen. He wondered if they were doing okay. He had their contact information from the incident report, so he decided to call. Carmen answered on the second ring. "Hello? Ms. Rodriguez, this is Officer Martinez. I was the officer who helped you and Maya the other day." "Oh, Officer Martinez." "Hello, is everything okay?" "Everything's fine," he assured her. "I was just calling to check on you and Maya. How is she doing?" "She's wonderful," Carmen said, and he could hear the smile in her voice. "She's been drawing nonstop. She keeps looking at that business card Mr. Diesel gave her. She has it on her wall like it's a treasure." "That's great to hear," Martinez said. Then he paused. "Ms. Rodriguez, I have something to ask you. I took a short video that day at the station. Just a brief moment of Mr. Diesel talking with Maya about her art. I didn't do anything with it, but my wife suggested that it's the kind of story people need to hear right now. Would you be comfortable with me sharing it with a local news station? Only if you're okay with it, of course." There was silence on the other end. Martinez worried he had overstepped. "What do you think would happen if you shared it?" Carmen asked. "Honestly, I don't know. It might just be a small local news story, or it might touch people and spread further. But the message would be important. It would show that kindness still exists, that people still help each other." Carmen thought for a moment. "Let me talk to Maya about it. Can I call you back?" "Of course." 20 minutes later, Carmen called back. Maya said yes. She said if the video can help other kids believe that good things can happen, then she wants to share it. "But officer, we have one condition. We need Mr. Diesel's permission too. We don't want to do anything that makes him uncomfortable. I'll contact his production company, Martinez said, and I won't share anything without everyone's approval. It took Martinez 3 days to get through to the right person at Vin Diesel's production company. He explained the situation to Vin's assistant, Sarah, the same woman who had helped coordinate everything the day of the rain. Sarah called him back 2 hours later. Mr. Diesel said yes. He appreciates you asking for permission first. He said if the story can inspire people to help children in need, he's happy for it to be shared. He has just one request. He doesn't want the focus to be on him being a celebrity. He wants the focus to be on community members taking care of each other. I'll make sure that's clear, Martinez promised. He contacted a reporter named Jennifer Chen at the local news station. She was known for doing thoughtful human interest stories. When Martinez showed her the video and told her the full story, Jennifer's eyes got watery. "This is incredible," she said. "When can I interview the family?" The news story aired on a Friday evening. It was a 6-minute segment that told the whole story from beginning to end. They showed the video of Vin with Maya. They interviewed Carmen about what it meant to her that someone had stopped to help. They talked to Maya about her dreams of becoming an artist. And they spoke with Vin over the phone, who reiterated that any good person would have done the same thing. But the most powerful part was at the end, when the reporter asked Carmen what message she wanted people to take from this story. "I want people to know that we all need each other," Carmen said, holding Maya close. "I work hard, but I can't be everywhere. That day I needed help, and help came, not because I deserved it or earned it, but because another human being saw my child in trouble and cared. That's how communities should work. We should all be willing to be that person for someone else's child." The story could have ended there, just a nice local news piece that people watched and forgot. But Jennifer Chen posted the video on the station's social media pages, and something unexpected happened. It went viral. Within 24 hours, the video had been shared thousands of times. Within a week, millions of people had seen it. News outlets across the country picked it up. Entertainment shows featured it. People commented and shared and talked about it on every platform. But it wasn't just celebrity gossip. People weren't just talking about Vin Diesel being a good guy. They were talking about what his actions represented. They were sharing their own stories of times strangers had helped them or their children. They were discussing the importance of community and looking out for each other. Parents shared the video as an example of teaching their kids about stranger danger, while also believing in human goodness. Teachers used it in classrooms to talk about kindness and character. Social workers and child advocates pointed to it as an example of proper protocol when helping children in need. The story resonated with single parents especially. Hundreds of single mothers and fathers commented on social media about the fear Carmen described, the terror of not being able to be there when their child needs them. They talked about the pressure and guilt and exhaustion, and they thanked Vin for showing that there are people who will step up when parents can't be there. But the biggest impact came from what happened next. 2 weeks after the story went viral, a woman named Patricia Torres, who ran the community center where Maya took art classes, held a town hall meeting. She invited parents, teachers, community leaders, and local business owners. "We all saw what happened to Maya," Patricia said, "and we realized that this could happen to any child in our community. Kids miss buses. Phones die. Programs end early. Parents work late. These are normal things that happen in life. But we shouldn't leave children vulnerable when they do." She proposed creating safe wait stations throughout the community. These would be designated locations where children could go if they were stranded or in trouble. Libraries, fire stations, certain businesses, and community centers would all have trained staff ready to help children contact their parents and stay safe while they waited. The idea caught on immediately. Local businesses volunteered to participate. The police department offered to do background checks on all volunteers. The school district created a program to teach children about where these safe stations were located and when to use them. Within 3 months, the community had established 30 safe wait stations. Every student in the district received a small card to keep in their backpack with a map of all the locations. But Patricia wasn't done. She also started a fund to provide emergency phones to families who couldn't afford them. These were simple phones just for calling and texting, but they could be lifelines in emergencies. Maya's dead phone had been a key part of why she was stranded. Patricia wanted to make sure no other child faced the same situation. Local businesses donated. Community members contributed. And when Vin Diesel heard about the initiative, he personally donated a substantial amount to help the fund serve more families. Carmen was one of the first recipients of an emergency phone program. The phone came with a year of free service, and after that, the program would cover the bill for families who qualified based on income. "I never have to worry about Maya not being able to reach me again," Carmen said at the phone distribution event, tears in her eyes. "This program is giving parents like me peace of mind. That's priceless." The Safe Wait Station program and emergency phone fund became a model that other communities started to copy. Cities across the country reached out to Patricia for advice on implementing similar programs. The story that had started with one girl in the rain was creating waves of change far beyond that single moment. Meanwhile, Maya kept drawing. Every single day, just like Vin had told her to. She filled up the sketchbook her mother had given her and started a new one. She drew at home, at school during art class, and even sometimes at her mother's restaurant on slow afternoons. Her teachers noticed her improved focus and skill. The art instructor at the community center started giving Maya more advanced techniques to try. Word spread about the girl from the video, and a local art gallery owner reached out to Patricia, offering free weekend art workshops for talented students who couldn't afford expensive classes. Maya was invited to join. Carmen watched her daughter blossom. The money Vin had given them had helped more than he knew. Carmen had used some of it to replace Maya's art supplies. She used some to catch up on bills that had been stressing her out. And she put the rest in a savings account for Maya's future. But more than the money, Vin's words had changed something in Carmen. He had told her she was doing a good job, that she was the real hero, that her daughter was smart and kind because of how Carmen had raised her. Those words had lifted a weight Carmen didn't even know she was carrying. She still worked hard. She still worried about money sometimes, but she didn't feel so alone anymore. She felt like she was part of a community that would catch them if they fell. 3 years passed. Maya was 11 now, almost 12. She had continued with her art, getting better and better. Her room was covered with drawings and paintings. Her style had matured. Her understanding of light and shadow and perspective had improved dramatically. She still had Vin Diesel's business card on her wall, right next to her desk where she could see it every day. She was counting down the months until her 12th birthday, when she could apply to the mentorship program. Carmen had managed to cut back to one job. She still worked full-time at the restaurant, but she had gotten a raise after 3 years of reliable service. They had moved to a slightly better apartment. Things weren't easy, but they were better. One afternoon in October, Maya came home from school with a permission slip. Her art teacher had entered one of her drawings into a regional young artists competition. The winners would have their work displayed in a real gallery, and the top prize included a scholarship to a summer art-intensive program. "Mom, I want to enter," Maya said, showing Carmen the permission slip. "But you have to drive me to the gallery for the judging day. It's on a Saturday." Carmen looked at the date. She was scheduled to work that day, a busy brunch shift that she needed for the tips. But she looked at her daughter's hopeful face and made a decision. "I'll request the day off," Carmen said. "Your art is important." "You're important. The restaurant can survive one day without me." On the day of the competition, Carmen and Maya drove to the gallery in their old blue car, the same car they had driven to the police station 3 years ago. Maya's entry was a drawing of a rainstorm. In the foreground, a small figure stood under an awning, scared and alone. But in the background, barely visible through the rain, car headlights approached like hope arriving just in time. She called it the storm that changed everything. The judges studied all the entries carefully. There were over 100 young artists competing in Maya's age group. The talent level was high. But when the judges stood in front of Maya's piece, they stopped and looked at it for a long time. "Tell us about your drawing," one of the judges said to Maya. Maya told them about the day she got caught in the rain, about being scared and alone, about how a stranger stopped to help her, about how that one act of kindness had changed her life and inspired her to keep drawing, to keep believing in herself, to keep hoping for good things. "This isn't just a picture," Maya explained. "It's a story about how we need each other, about how one person caring can make all the difference." When the winners were announced, Maya's name was called for first place. She and Carmen screamed and hugged each other. Maya won a ribbon, a trophy, and the scholarship to the summer program. But the best part came afterward when they were standing by Maya's displayed artwork, and a woman approached them. She introduced herself as a representative from a non-profit that provided arts education grants. "I saw your daughter's piece and read the story behind it," the woman said to Carmen. "Our organization has a program that provides full scholarships to promising young artists from underserved communities. Based on her talent and her story, I'd like to nominate her for our year-round mentorship program. It's completely free and includes supplies, instruction, and even field trips to museums and galleries." Carmen's hands shook as she accepted the woman's business card and program information. More opportunities, more doors opening, all because her daughter had kept drawing, kept believing, kept hoping. That night, back in their apartment, Maya pulled out Vin Diesel's business card again and looked at it. Her 12th birthday was just 2 months away. "I'm going to send that email soon," Maya said to her mother. "I know you are," Carmen replied, "and something tells me he's going to remember you." "Do you think he knows what he started that day?" Maya asked. "Do you think he knows about all the safe wait stations and the phone program and all the ways people helped each other because of what he did?" "Maybe," Carmen said. "But I think the part he'd care about most is knowing that you're still drawing, that you didn't give up on your dreams. That's probably the best thank you we could ever give him." Maya nodded and put the card back in its special place on her wall. 2 more months and she would apply to the mentorship program. But whether or not she got in didn't matter as much as it once had. She had already received the most important gift Vin Diesel had to give: the belief that her art mattered, that her dreams were valid, that she had something valuable to offer the world. The rain had stopped years ago, but the hope it brought had never dried up. On a rainy evening 3 years after that day, somewhere across the country, Vin Diesel sat in his home office reviewing applications for his mentorship program. His assistant Sarah had flagged one application in particular, with a note that said, "I think you'll want to see this one." The subject line of the email read, "Maya from the rain." Vin opened it and saw a message from Carmen, thanking him for the opportunity and explaining how far Maya had come in the past years. Attached were photos of Maya's recent artwork. The quality was stunning. The girl had real talent, just as he had thought that rainy day. But what struck Vin most was a second attachment. It was a hand-drawn thank you card from Maya. In it, she had illustrated the story of that day from her perspective. The fear and loneliness, the moment of hope when the car stopped, the kindness she received. And finally, panels showing the years since, all the ways that one moment had rippled outward to create change. At the bottom, Maya had written in careful letters, "You told me to keep drawing. I did. Thank you for seeing me when I was invisible to everyone else. Thank you for caring about a stranger. One day I'm going to help other kids the way you helped me. That's my promise." Vin sat back in his chair and smiled. Then he typed a response to Carmen and Maya, officially accepting Maya into the program. He added a personal note. "Maya, I am so proud of the artist and person you've become. Your mother raised an amazing young woman. I can't wait to see what you create next. Welcome to the family." He hit send and then sat there for a moment thinking about that rainy day. He had been late to a meeting. He had rearranged his schedule. He had spent hours of his time on what some people might have called an inconvenience, but it hadn't been an inconvenience. It had been one of the most important things he had ever done. Not the movies, not the fame, not the money. This, seeing a child in need and stopping to help. Giving hope to a young artist who needed someone to believe in her. Being the person he wished had been there for him when he was young and struggling. That's what success was really for. Not for bigger houses or fancier cars. For moments like these. For being able to help. For lifting others up. For creating ripples of good that spread far beyond what you could see. Outside Vin's window, rain started to fall. He watched it for a moment, remembering that stormy afternoon years ago. Then he smiled and went back to reviewing applications, looking for more kids like Maya, looking for more chances to stop when someone needed help. Because that's what good people do. They stop, they care, they help, and sometimes, if you're lucky, you get to see how one small act of kindness can change everything.